Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I want to get a bit further with configuring my BladeCenter. This is an IBM BladeCenter H and it has the model number 8852, which is right down here. I have a single blade over here that has a yellow or amber light diode, and I found out the last time. If you haven't seen the last video, I would recommend you to go back and see that first and come back here. It has a bad battery inside, one of these small ones. I had another one. This one was also blinking amber or orange, and well, it stopped all by itself. I haven't really changed it. It's these small 3-volt batteries. I'm pretty sure it's the CR2032 that goes into this server. Let's take the server out and just replace that battery. Here is the server, and when it's blinking green, that means it's there is power on the server, but it's not powered on. This one is constantly green, and that means that this server is powered on. Then there is this green up here, which means CD. That means that the CD tray, where is it? It's over here. That is connected to this one at the moment. We have another green one over here, and that's the monitor. The monitor and the keyboard is right now connected to this Blade server. I'm gonna take this one out. And it of course powered off. So here is the server, and it's actually opened on the other side like this. You press in 2 buttons on each side and this LED goes up and you can take it off. So where did they hide the battery in this thing? Let's check if it's under there. Oh, I think it is. So this says lithium. There it is. I have a small pocket multimeter here. That's it can measure DC voltage. So let's take the battery out. Wonder how you do that. Oh, push it forward. Okay. And we're just gonna measure the voltage on that battery. The angle of this multimeter is not. There we are. Right now it's measuring more or less nothing. We have, wrong way around. We have 1.9 volts. That's really on the low side for a 3-volt battery. So we're gonna get this one, and as I guessed, it's a 2032. Oh, I dropped one. Oh, it's there. That goes in there. And this is the new one. This is a really cheap one. I'm sure the one they've put in there is a lot better quality, but well, this cheap one is on 3.25 volts, so it's a lot better. So we're gonna be putting that in. Like that. And it has this little plastic cover that is supposed to go on there. And this one is recycling. And that will be sniffing the power for a little bit, and hopefully it won't turn yellow again. When you're in the data center with this blade, you have the option of connecting a monitor or a keyboard. And there is no connections on the front of the BladeCenter. We have to go around the back. I have a nice setup here. Server. This is a console screen and keyboard. Just gonna turn that on and bring you around the back and see how that works. It's very windy back here. Here is the monitor cable and the keyboard mouse. And it plugs into here. And right now there is absolutely nothing on the monitor, and that is because I have the monitor connected down here to a server that is off. So if we move it over here to number 1, that is on, press that button, now the monitor is connected, and mouse and keyboard. So now we get a signal on that one. We're on number 1 now. We have another server that is also on, and that is number 12. Let's just see the difference. This is an ESXi 5.1, and if we go to number 12, press that, that's an ESXi 6.00. You do not get the option to configure the BladeCenter itself from the monitor. You have to go out and connect to the BladeCenter from the management modules. And the management modules, they look very similar. They look very similar to the network modules. This is a fiber optic network module, but they have the same size. They just have monitor connections and stuff like that. If you haven't seen one of those, go back and see some of my earlier videos on this BladeCenter. I can configure all the Blade servers from here. I can take a CD and put it in the CD-ROM drive, and then I can install my Windows server, my ESXi servers, everything on that. I can go into the BIOS of the servers and do that. The network configurations, I'm not able to configure that way. That I will have to go and configure through the switches in the back of the machine, and in the management module there's some switching options there as well. But I could stand out here and do all of the operating systems with the server. But mostly this option is for emergency access to the Blades, because it's a really noisy room to be in, and I'd much rather sit in my comfy chair and tap away and surf when there's progress bars and stuff like that. So let's go visit the computer. At the computer, if you're following my channel, which I really hope you are, you will be seeing right now that I've changed this view to HD. There is no longer black lines out in the side of the screen. So I hope you're happy about that. Not that anyone has been complaining, but I thought that I would try this. I have opened a web browser here, and I was about to log into the IBM BladeCenter H Advanced Management module, and that's the module that we just plugged in the mouse and keyboard to. It remembers me from the last time, so actually the user ID is user ID and the password is password with a 0 instead of an O and big letters. So logging into that, and here we get the splash screen that we are logging into this BladeCenter, and last time I was on was this date, and it's more or less, it's 6 days ago I guess, and we can enable that we will automatically be kicked off in some amount of time, and I always choose the 20 minutes because if I do something really stupid, then it will kick me off in 20 minutes. Continue. Here we are, and as far as I can see right away, there is no more errors. So we got rid of the errors that were they up there? I think they were around here somewhere, with the batteries of the two blades. I think it was number 10 and number 11. Could be wrong, but right now all the blades are showing a green status, And over here we can see that number 1 is on and number 12 is on. We have the option of going to the remote management, which is not there. Going to the remote control option right here. We want to open that too, and we want to start remote control right over here, and get another window just outside view. Continue opening that, and yeah, we have the usual Java problems. This is unsafe. Run this time. And it's opening, and we get another warning. Yes. And it opens up without access to any of the Blade servers. To get access to a Blade server, we need to pick it in here. Here are all the Blade servers. First number is the number on the blade in the Blade chassis, and then there is the name of the server. Let's try number 12. That one was on. Pick that one, and I come to the ESXi host 6.0, and I can press something, and we get the screen out there. And to release that, that's Control Alt, and this screen is just a tiny bit too small for that. There we are. So what I really want to do is get some more servers upgraded. So let's switch to number 1. Here is number 1, and that had the ESXi 5.0 VMware installed there, and I would really like to upgrade that. Well, more or less we got what we need right now, so I'm just gonna be moving these 2 servers away from there. Right now, server number 1 is on the local disk storage of this Blade server. It has 1 internal disk inside the server, and that server is on that one. The other one is on the IBM SAN, and that was why that was not communicating with us at the start. But it figured that out as soon as it has access to the IBM SAN. It found out that there was a server on that one. So I want to move both of those servers away. When I'm out here in VMware, I can only move one at a time. But if I choose the server up here, and I go to virtual machines, I have the 2 virtual machines here, and I can select both of them, and I can migrate them. And migrate means move. I'm gonna move those, and one of them needs just to change the host, and one of them needs to change host and data store. If I choose host and data store on both of them, one of them will just be done really quick. So we're just gonna be choosing that one, and I'm gonna put them on that server. This is just temporarily, and I'm gonna be putting it on loan number 1, and blah blah blah. Finish. Now they will be moving down here. This does take, the first one is done. That was the one that was already moved on the storage. And the next one will take a while because it has to move the virtual machine away from the storage and over to another storage. My storage array is not configured very good. I really need to look into that someday. So I'll pause this and we'll get back when it's done. Now these servers has been moved out of here, and I'm now ready to power off this 231. I'll just power that off. Shut down. Yes, please. And the reason why do I want to shut this down? Let's just say upgrade. Upgrade. Okay, whatever. And it will be powering that off. And over here in the advanced management module, we will very soon you'll be seeing this one changing, I guess. It might take a little bit. Oh, okay. It powered off now. This is video, so I have been cheating a little bit, not on this job, but actually I've been outside mowing the lawn while these servers was moving away. So everything had shut down, so I have to start the remote control again. And that. And we can take number 1, and we won't get a picture because there is no picture. The server is off right now and it is powered off, it says right there. But I want to upgrade it with a new version of VMware, and I actually had a question in my comments. How do I get a VMware license? Let's just try that. If I open my browser here, we're gonna take Chrome for this, and we're gonna go to VMware, vmware.com. I've been there before. And we will go to download VMware WebSphere Hypervisor ESXi. There. And here we can download the WebSphere Hypervisor 6.0. We have to create an account to do that. I already have an account, but if you don't, you create an account here and you tell them who you are. When you have done that, I'll just pause and log in. When you log in, you will get your VMware license, and I have the license for Hypervisor version 6 right here, and over here is the license key. I have covered up mine. I don't want all of you to be using my code. I have no idea if that would be bad for me, but there's really no reason for you to use my code because it's free. As soon as you log in and create an account with VMware, they will provide you a free license. So there's really no problem. Then you go over here to the WebSphere Hypervisor 6.0, and there's an upgrade for this, and I could see that the date was pretty new, so I pressed it, and sure enough it says that this is a 3029 something, and that's a newer edition than the one I got. So I'm gonna be saving that on my local computer here somewhere. I think where that's not it. There they are. This one is the newest I have. No, that one must be the newest one I got right now. So I'm gonna be saving this new one at this location. I'm gonna cancel this and save it as the right name. Just gonna go back to my download directory and save that. And depending on your internet connection, that will be downloading. This is fairly quick, a couple of megabytes every second. I don't think I need to complain about that. There it is. That is completely downloaded. So I'll go to my download location. Here. And here is the ISO we just downloaded. So that is all good. And I will go back to this screen and back to the remote thing. And I will add a remote hard drive. What this does is it will mount a disk, and I can choose my local computer that I'm on right now, or I could use some network storage that I have access to, but I can select a file here and add, and it will ask what you want. And I can take a network drive. This is a directory on my NAS server, but I'm just gonna go up and find download and download. And there is the new image right there. And when I open that over here, and I can mount it, and I need to tell which server it should be mounted on, and right now that's number 1. And this is where I need the do that button, which is not there right now, so I'll just have to trust that that's working. So shut that down, and I'll power on this blade number 1. It didn't power on, did it? No, power on. This server is now booting.
Blade server, and that's an HS21. It's an older server, but it's still a good server. It has 2 Intel Xeon processors, and those are the 5420s, I think. They are 2.5 gigahertz quad cores. Here we are, and it's ready to install right there. And I'm actually not gonna bother you with that. If you wanna see a VMware installation, go back and see one of my earlier videos.
So, while VMware is being installed on Blade number 1, I wanted to show you this app that is available for iDevices, iPhones and iPads, and it's used to control a BladeCenter and some of the X series servers. But let's see how you control your BladeCenter from an iPad. I will not be able to show you everything, but we will get an overview of what it is capable of. I downloaded the app in my last video, and it's really simple. You just go to App Store and search for IBM BladeCenter, and it's one of 2 that shows up. So if I go in there, I've already opened it. It has been connected to the BladeCenter, and you can configure it over here. Go to the menu, and you can add it, and you will have to give some data about your BladeCenter, the IP number and the password and so on. Let's go back, and down here in Monitor and Manager, and there is the BladeCenter. We have different options down here in the bottom. Right now we are seeing the front. There's the rear, and press that. It shows us what's powered on. There is like switches, and there is the management module, the fan blowers and more modules and stuff like that. We have some metering. We are being shown the power consumption. Right now I'm drawing 852 watts. Oh, that's a lot. And details, serial number, replacement numbers, chassis, event log, what has happened. Had some errors on that. Number 10, that was the battery we exchanged. Went good there. And there's a health button, and there is right now no critical things on this BladeCenter. Pretty cool. But let's go to the front and let's power on some of these blades. I would like to power on some of these because I want to move the virtual servers away from there and upgrade them. So I'm gonna try if I can power these on, and that should be down here. Do you want to power on? Turn Blade 2 on. And I need to enter my password. Just a second. And I entered the password. Let's see if it does that. I can see over here now Blade number 2 is constantly on. So that will be booting. Let's check the monitor if we are able to connect to see Blade number 2 powering on. Right now what are we looking at? Oh, I have an error. Here is Blade number 2. Server is booting up. Right now it shows that Blade number 1 and 2 and 12 is on. So from this little app I can power on and power off the Blade servers, which is pretty cool.
As we just saw in the server room, I seem to have lost connection on Blade number 1. That was not intentionally. I think that maybe the iPad program breaks the connection that I have here. And definitely that went away. I was probably kicked out here. So we'll have to start that over. That was not really intentional. Let's see if it's able to resume. Hopefully the presentation can continue. Okay, it reboots, and yes, the CPU was an E5420 2.5 gigahertz, and there's 2 of those in this Blade. I did kind of say that you're not gonna be seeing the installation, and I'm still probably not gonna show that, but I found out that the 20 minutes that I've set the system until I'm kicked off is not enough. It kicks me off and it unmounts the drive while when I'm kicked off. I just mounted back the drive and connected to everything. Oh, you might want to get this window totally into view like that and see if it will install. Yeah, I guess it's okay. It kicked me off after 20 minutes and I haven't been over this all the time. I thought it would just be installing and well, it lost the connection to the install media. So I had to reconnect that and now I have attached without giving it a timeout. So I should be good for now. Well, as things go, this always takes longer than you had anticipated. So let's see how far I got. Here are all the blades, and as you can see I have powered on from number 1 to number 9 now, and then number 12 is still on. I don't really need that. We're not going to be looking at that right now, but I have gone through 1 to 9 and I have installed the new VMware ESXi 6.0 on those. So let's go and see what I've done. Here in the ESXi WebSphere client manager thing, you will notice that these hosts are new, and there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. There should be 9, and there will be, but I wanted to do the last little bit here together with you, and you can see this is the next day. I worked on this a little bit yesterday, and I've been working on it for a couple of hours today. I ran into some trouble with that the weather was good yesterday, so it wasn't really weather to be sitting inside playing with VMware. I have here on the number 231 host, I have 2 virtual machines. These are rendering machines that I use when I do 3D rendering, and we're gonna be moving those down to these 2 hosts that at the time being does not have any virtual machines on them. And right now they're on some iSCSI storage, so, and I'm not gonna move that, so it's very quickly to say you're gonna be running on another host. Oh, I didn't explain what I was doing. I just right click the virtual machine and I say, I would just call it move, but that's just me. Change host. I can change host, I can change data store, and I can change data store and host. We're just gonna change host, and we can select which host it is to be put on, and it's this one, which has none. You can see that out here. The little plus sign means that you can go in and see the virtual machines, and there is no plus sign, so there is no virtual machine on this one. Next, finish, and then that machine has been moved down there, and it's almost instantly. It's very cool. We're just gonna do the same thing with this number 12. I'm gonna move that. Next. Choose the machine, that one. Oh, and then it comes and tells me these 2 machines has no common storage. Whoa, and I'm not allowed to do that. That's because this host does not have access to this storage. So we're gonna give it that. Cancel. And that's because I haven't configured the iSCSI storage for that one. It's configured with some other iSCSI. It has an iSCSI drive right there, and we can see that in here. It's connected to my LUN number 2, but the virtual machine is on LUN number 1, so we'll have to give it access to LUN number 2 as well. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna add the IP number of iSCSI SAN, and I'm gonna connect, use the security, and there's a password. There we are, and that pops up right there, and we can close that. And if we want to rescan, it's gonna be rescanning. That takes just a little bit. It's in progress down here, and over here I'm trying to point with my finger. That's not gonna work. We got another one, and if we go back to the summary, we now have access to LUN number 1, And that's because the last time I was playing with these servers, I didn't have a loom number 1. So I've added that since these servers was online last. So now I should be able to move this number 12. Change host. Next. 37, 237. Next. And no problem at all. But I have 2 more hosts that is not in here. Just minimize that. And that is, if we see it over here, I have temp blades. I have no idea why I have spelled it like that. I might as well go in and change the name. Let's start by doing that. Under the configuration tab, I'm able to give the servers names. So I'm just gonna borrow this name and put it down here and just alter the number. We are getting a 28 and a 29. I'll save that. Button is over here. Operation will take place in a few moments. Well, a few moments is kind of a long time. I think sometimes this takes way longer than it needs to. But, well, now it's set, so let's go back. It's already set here. 28, 29. Cool. Let's see number 28 here. It's up and running. Okay. I've already set the IP number and password. I try to leave these VMware hosts with as little configuration as possible because I tend to upgrade them very often. Then again, most of these was running 5.1, so maybe I don't upgrade them that often, but well, still, there's a lot of servers. You can see I have like 30 something VMware hosts. It takes quite a while. Let's get this to show up in VMware. So I have this host here and it has the 238. So what I do, I go up here and I add new host and I type in the IP number 38 root and I put in a password and it comes and tells me about some certificate and yeah, sure. And it tells me what this is. There is no virtual machines and I can choose to lock. I'm not going to. And where to put it? Well, only one place apparently. And I get a new host down here. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with number 239. Let's just see that over here. There it is. Just make that yellow. Oh, go out. And we're gonna add that. And there we are. 2 new hosts added. We can here in VMware see what kind of hardware we're dealing with. And 231, I think we already looked at this. This is 2 processors, each with quad cores, and they're 2.5 gigahertz. And it's the model Intel Xeon E5420. It's equipped with 16 gigabytes of RAM and the hard drive. One disk of 68 gigabytes. I think we are dealing with the same numbers for the first 4 Blade servers in the BladeCenter, like 232, 233, 234, and then when we get to 235, it's a little different. This is still a quad-core processors, but this is a 2 gigahertz and it's a series 5335. And that's an older series and it sucks up a lot of power. But I'm planning to I want to do some test rendering with these servers, so that's why I'm preparing this. If we go to 236, we are dealing with 2 dual-core Xeon processors, and these are 3 gigahertz. So this is a total of 4 cores in one BladeCenter. Still 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let's check the hard drive configuration in this. It's still just one hard drive, 68 gigabyte SAS drive. 237 is just like 236, same configuration. And then when we go to 238, we have a newer processor. This is the E5530, and that's a 2.4 gigahertz. And now we're dealing with 8 cores and these has hyper-threading, so newer processors, but we are down to 12 gigabytes of RAM in those servers. And the hard disk configuration on this one, I think I have 2 drives in a RAID 0, 268 gigabyte drives, SAS drives in a RAID 0 configuration, so that makes a total of 126.5 usable data. The operating system is also on this disk, so that is not included in this. And 239 is just like 200. Oh, it's not exactly like. The processors is the same, the RAM is the same, but this is a RAID 1. 2 hard drives in this, but they're in a RAID 1. I think we're gonna end it here, into the server room, and we'll have a last look at this.
These first 4 servers was the E5420s, 2.5 gigahertz processors. This one was the E5335, which was a quad core 2 gigahertz. There's 2 of those. These 2 were the dual core processors, 3 gigahertz, and these 2 are the E5520s, 2.4 gigahertz processors. What I've got left is 2 more E5530s. I have 1 more. I have no idea what processors is in this. And I have 2 AMDs that I want to try too. With Optron processors, there is 2 CPUs in each of these, and I think they're only dual core, but we're gonna have a look at that in the next Blade server video something. In about a day I was able to configure these, the first half of this. I could have done the whole thing if I had used an entire day. But as said, it was good weather yesterday, so I was out mowing the lawn and doing other stuff. Well, it takes quite a while to configure 14 servers like that. It doesn't go a lot quicker when they're in a BladeCenter like this. But you don't have to worry about, you only have to do the networking one. Don't have to think about the power and cabling and stuff. The BladeCenter has like 6 power cables, couple, 3 something network cables. I have a little more in it right now, because I had a lot of problems getting that up and running last time. I got over half of this BladeCenter configured in, I think I used 6 hours for this, a little on and off. I was able to do some commenting on my YouTube comments in the meanwhile, while the ESXi 6.0 was installing. Thank you for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.